Hello dear students, I am Seema Kulkarni from Department of English, Fergusson College, Pune. Students, today we shall learn drafting a virtual message. In this lecture, we shall learn the meaning of virtual communication, different types of messages and guidelines for drafting a virtual message. Let us now learn how to draft a virtual message. Here is an icebreaker activity from our textbook. One wave is given and it talks about the communication cycle or the process of communication. Children, can you guess the role of the sender and the receiver in this process? What do we encode? What do we decode? Let us first understand the role of sender and the role of receiver. Sender is a person who sends the message. Sender is a person who initiates message in the process of communication. Sender can be a writer, a speaker, or someone who gestures. Gesture, हावभाव करणे. The role of the receiver is to understand and interpret the message in the process of communication. The receiver can be a reader, can be a listener, or the receiver can also be an observer. Receiver's role is to understand the message or to decode the message. Let us now understand what is the meaning of encode and decode. Encoding is the process of converting data from one form of communication into another form of communication. We convert the information from one process of communication into another process of communication. So to encode the message, we can use symbols, we can use language, and we can also use gestures. Decoding means understanding the message. We decode means we understand the message and we convert that message into our original language. Decoding means also interpreting the message. Now children, we know that we send messages for different purposes or reasons. You are asked to write at least 5 purposes or reasons for which messages are generally sent. Which are those purposes or reasons? Let me help you. We send messages to inform someone. We send messages to give instructions. We send messages to obtain information. In this way, you can write at least 5 purposes or reasons for which messages are generally sent. Now children, you can see one tree diagram on your screen. This tree diagram talks about 2 types of messages, and these 2 types of messages are informal messages and formal messages. You have to complete the boxes of this tree diagram. Informal messages are generally written for parents. Formal messages are generally written for principal or the person in authority. Who are the other people who write informal messages for? Yes, we write informal messages for our friends, for our relatives. The messages which are written for the non-professional purpose are the informal messages. Formal messages, we write these messages for teachers, for employer, for the person in authority. That means formal messages are generally written for the professional purposes. Now children, let us understand communication. Communication is an integral part of human nature. We cannot live without communication. So what is communication? We communicate means we exchange ideas, thoughts, and information from one person to another. And this exchange of ideas, thoughts, and information is called communication. Human being is considered as the most intelligent animal on this planet. And as the most intelligent animal on this planet, humans have derived different communication processes to express themselves and understand each other. But before this oral communication was invented or introduced, the communication was going on. So before the advent of oral communication, people were using non-verbal methods of communication, and gestures, facial expressions, and movements, they are some of the non-verbal methods of communication. There are 3 major forms of communication: oral communication, written communication, and virtual communication. Oral communication is the communication that is done through the spoken words. The process of verbally transmitting information and ideas from one individual or group to another is known as oral communication. Oral communication can be either formal or informal. For example, the communication you have within your family is informal type of communication. But the communication you have in your classroom with your teacher is the formal type of communication. The example of oral communication is face-to-face conversation. The second form of communication is written communication. Written communication is done through written words. Sending of messages, orders or instructions in writing through letters, circulars, manuals, reports, telegrams, office memos, bulletins, etc. are some of the forms of written communication. Written communication is a formal method of communication and it is less flexible. The instruction sheet that you received from your college, it is a type of written communication. The reports or the letters that you write is the written form of communication. The third form of communication is virtual communication. And this virtual communication has become very popular nowadays. Virtual communication is when people communicate without being face to face, just like we are communicating now. We are not present in front of each other, but then also our communication is going on. The example of virtual communication is e-learning. So the use of audio-visual techniques, webcams, they are the methods of communicating virtually. In e-learning, instructors can communicate and provide lessons from anywhere and anytime, just like we do now at this moment, children. Message is an informal means of communication, and the receiver of the message has to go through the given message and pick out the most vital bits of information. Now here, receiver's role is very important one, because he or she has to go through the given message and has to take down the important details of the information from that conversation. Then he or she should be able to reproduce that information in order to convey it to the person for whom it is intended. Intended means it is written for, and that's why receiver's role becomes very, very important here. Let us now understand the types of messages. There are 4 types of messages: positive messages, negative messages, neutral messages, and persuasive messages. Positive messages convey good feelings through thanks, appreciation, expression of interest, sympathy, extended help, solace. And of course, when we receive a message of thanks, or when we write or send a message of thanks to someone, it initiates positivity. People feel good to read those messages, right? Then the same thing is with appreciation, the message of appreciation. When you appreciate someone, when you send the message appreciating that person for the work done by that person, the person feels very good, and that's why it is known as the positive message. The same thing is with expression of interest as well. The message of sympathy or solace, solace, comfort or console. The message which is sent to express sympathy or solace, these are also called the positive messages because the receiver understands that you care for him or her. The same thing is with extended help. When you try to extend help to someone else, the person feels good, feels positive. The next type of message is negative message. These negative messages convey disappointment, dissatisfaction, messages of disapproval, disagreement, denial, refusal, cancellation, etc. If you look at the words, children, disappointment, dissatisfaction, disapproval or disagreement, the prefix dis is added here, and this prefix talks about the negativity. When you get the message or when you send the message of disappointment or dissatisfaction, these messages are known as negative messages because these messages initiate negativity. Person doesn't feel good to receive such messages. The next one is the neutral message. These neutral messages express no feelings, no emotions, no sentiments. They are just like the dry messages. These messages showing neither joy nor sorrow. These neutral messages are written technically, or we can say mechanically. These messages do not draw any conclusion. So reports, instructions, exam timetables, these are called the neutral messages. The fourth type of message is persuasive messages, and the persuasive messages are the act that communicate persuasively. The messages which are written with the help of convincing language or words, they are called the persuasive messages. And all these types of messages are very important to understand. Let us now understand virtual communication. The definition of virtual communication which is given in our textbook is virtual communication is a mode of communication that includes the use of technology, audio and video to communicate with people who are not physically present in front of us. And during this challenging period of pandemic, this virtual communication has become very important, children. In virtual communication, we use the technology of audio and video to communicate with people who are physically not present in front of us. So we can communicate virtually with people who can be in the next room, on the other floor, in neighborhood or even miles away. Virtual communication has made communicating with people so easy and instant that we can communicate with anyone on this planet. Although virtual communication started way back with the invention of telephone, the advent of webcams, video conferencing and instant communication made virtual communication a big hit. Yes, we were communicating virtually through telephonic conversation. But when webcams and video conferencing and the instant communication tools were introduced, virtual communication became very popular. And today we use virtual communication in almost every walk of life. Every walk of life, every section of life. We communicate virtually within family, with our friends, with our office, and we are communicating virtually in the education field as well nowadays. Virtual communication has become one of the most popular ways of communication. Types of messages. There are 6 types of messages. These are the virtual messages. They are directional messages, what you should do, message of possibility, message of reality, messages of necessity, new idea messages and reframing messages. Let us understand one by one. Directional messages are what you should do. As the name shows, they give us direction. They guide us what we are expected to do. These messages, they give us a point of view on the best way to achieve a certain goal. So of course, these messages are very helpful because they tell us what we are expected to do in a particular situation. Examples of directional messages are being happier, making more money, better relationships, etc. Messages of possibility. And when the message of possibility says something else is possible, this is a very powerful message. Children, we know that we face problems in our lives, we go through ups and downs of life, we experience failures, but in case of some people, when they experience failure, when they go through the ups and downs, they tend to withdraw, they tend to give up. And for such people, these messages of possibility are very important one. Just have a look at the message. No matter how stuck or hopeless or helpless we feel, there is always a pathway to reclaim our power with mindfulness, love and simplicity. Always, which we might distill down to. No matter how stuck you feel, there is always a way. This type of message tells us there is always a way. If one situation has gone against our wish, we can find another way to achieve success. Messages of reality. The message is about how things really are. The message is about how things really are. These messages are clarifying messages. These messages are also known as mini maps that help direct people from confusion to clarity. Sometimes we suffer because we don't really see the world for how it is, and we need someone who can tell it like it is and reset our expectations about the possibilities and limitations of certain approaches will always engender trust. So these reality messages of reality, they are the clarifying messages and they clear our perspective. The fourth type of message is messages of necessity. We need to. Here again, directional messages tell us what we are expected to do. The messages of necessity tell us what we need to do. This type of message is more of a call to arms for people. Call to arms, that is an invitation or appeal to understand a particular course of action. Now children, here we have to understand that these messages are not just a message of what is possible or what is real, but what is required of us to get what we want. And this is very important one. The next type of message is new idea messages. These messages are based on new ideas, new opinions, novel suggestions, views, etc. And when the new ideas or opinions or suggestions are introduced through a message, these messages are known as new idea messages. The sixth type of message is reframing messages. Again, this type of message tend to reframe our perspective. Some messages are about taking aspects of our life that we might have framed as weaknesses or bad and framing them as strength and assets. Something we thought was bad is actually good, or something we always thought was bad is good. Something we thought was ugly is actually beautiful. These are known as the reframing messages. Let us now understand some more about virtual communication. Virtual message makes our lives easier with so many options of virtual message tools, and that we know. Our life has become easier with the virtual communication or virtual message. The ability of communicating virtually and instantly or sharing our information in seconds is very crucial. The advantages of virtual communication. Virtual communication is cost-effective, time-saving and accessible 24/7. A range of new products and technologies will assist in making our virtual communication more easy and quick. And in this way, virtual communication has become popular, children. Now, let us understand why we need to write a message or why we need to learn to write a message. Members of a family, classmates, colleagues, bosses, employees have to write scores of messages for others. So it is very important for every one of us to understand writing message correctly. Learning to write a short and clear message is very important. Since we write messages for different purposes, it is very important to learn to write a short and clear message. And to learn to write a short and clear message, writing skill should be mastered. Message writing is very important one. Most often, the inputs for a message comes in the form of a telephonic conversation between two people, and the person has to obtain the important information from that telephonic conversation. And this information is to be converted into a message for a third person. And that's why we need to write the virtual message into indirect speech format. Sometimes standard instructions contain the necessary information for the message, and such messages are written on small piece of papers called memo slips. We need to remember some points while drafting a virtual message, and these points are very important, children. The first point of drafting a virtual message is only the most important details should be written. So you have to obtain the most important detail from that conversation or from that information, and you have to write it in your virtual message. No new information should be added. You are not allowed to add your own information in your message. While drafting virtual message, you have to take care that your sentences are grammatically correct. So you can construct small sentences which are grammatically correct to write your virtual message. Since we are writing a virtual message for a third person, indirect or reported speech should be used. So it is again important one that you have to use indirect or reported speech narration in your virtual message. The message should be written in simple language and without any abbreviation. You are not allowed to write short forms in your virtual message. So write your virtual message in simple language. Before sending the message, you should check your message and try to correct it. You have to check whether your message is grammatically correct, whether you have included all the important details in the message, and then only you can send the message. You have to be friendly and polite while writing virtual message. Avoid pun, ambiguity, witticism in short words that would create confusion or a chaotic situation. So these words, pun, ambiguity, witticism, they create confusion or a chaotic situation. So try to use simple words, simple sentences to write your virtual message and avoid confusion or a chaotic situation. Word limit of your message is 50 words. So you have to write your message in about 50 words only. You should not exceed that limit. And enclose your message within a box. When you write the message, try to draw a box around your message. Format of drafting virtual message is you have to write date, you have to write time, you have to write the name of a person to whom the message is directed, whom the message is addressed to, and then body of the message. In the body of the message, you have to write the message in a detailed way. The actual message you have to write in the body of the message. And in the end, you have to write the name of the writer or sender. Let us take one example, children. Here is the example for drafting a virtual message. This example is given in your textbook. You receive a telephone call from your mother's office when she is not at home. You have the following conversation with the speaker, but you have to go for your tuition class, so you leave a message for your mother. Write the message within 50 words using the information given below. Do not add any new information. Now here is a conversation between Ambuj and Mr. Rastogi. Mr. Rastogi calls Ms. Dikshit. There is a call for Ms. Dikshit and Ambuj receives the call. Mr. Rastogi tells Ambuj that he wants to speak to Ms. Dikshit, and he even introduces here that he is Naresh Rastogi from the office. Ambuj informs Mr. Rastogi that his mother is not at home at that moment. So Mr. Rastogi leaves a message. He requests Ambuj to pass on the message to his mother. And the message is, in that case, can you give her a message? It is urgent. Please tell her that the meeting fixed for tomorrow has been rescheduled. Ask her to check her mail as soon as possible for the details. Please don't forget to inform her. And Ambuj assures him that he will pass that message on to his mother. And the date is given here that the message was received on 14th Feb and the time of receiving the message is 3:30 in the afternoon. So let us see how to draft this virtual message. Now children, we have to first find out the important details which we need to include in our answer. So which are those details? The call from Rastogi, then the rescheduling of a meeting, the information about the rescheduling of a meeting, and request to check her mail as soon as possible. And of course, one more thing it is mentioned here that the message is very urgent. So these points you have to include in your virtual message while drafting it. And here is the answer. The draft of the message should be like these, children. The first thing you have to write is date. The second thing you have to include in your virtual message is time and then the address. Now, this message is addressed by Ambuj for his mother. So he addresses the message to his mother. Dear Mom, Mr. Rastogi from the office called up to say that the meeting fixed for tomorrow has been rescheduled. He wants you to check your mail as soon as possible for the details. He said it was urgent, and in the end, we have a name of the writer of that message. And in this way, children, you are expected to write your virtual message. So while drafting the virtual message, try to obtain the most important information from that conversation or from that situation or from the description and include that important information into your message. Now, this question of drafting a virtual message is asked for 4 marks, and the marks distribution is like this. Content of your message carries 2 marks. Sequence or the flow of ideas carry 1 mark, and appropriateness, how appropriately you have used the language, carries 1 mark. And in this way, you can draft your virtual message. Now let us see one more question, children. Here we are not given the telephonic conversation. Apart from the telephonic conversation, a description is given here. And what that description tells us? It is the description of a note written by a mother for Rajat. Rajat comes home from school and finds the door locked. Since he has a duplicate key, he enters and finds a note from his mother kept on the table. In it, she explains that she had to rush to the hospital with Mrs. Manohar, their neighbor, who had met with an accident. She has also written that he should have the rice and curry kept on the dining table for lunch. He could heat the food in the microwave oven if he wanted to, but he should be very careful while handling the switch. And the instruction is draft the message which Rajat's mother left for him. Now, what are the important things in this message? That mother has gone with her neighbor to the hospital. The reason is also mentioned here, that their neighbor had met with an accident. He has also written in that note that she has kept food for him on the dining table. She has even instructed him that he could heat that food in the microwave oven if he wanted to. But again, caution is given there. He should be very careful while handling the switch. So these are the important points you need to add in your message. There is one more type of question given in your textbook, children. And here, the description is not given, telephonic conversation is not given. Here, some points are given. You have to draft your message considering the points given in the question. So what are those points? Using the information given below, write a message which Manu left for his sister Renu. Again, the instruction is here. Do not add any new information. The message should not exceed 50 words. So what are those points? Ruhan rang up, book reading session, children asked Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, compilation of letters received by him from children and his answers, Oxford bookstore, 8 p.m. this evening, pick you up 6:30 p.m. attend reading session together. Now what we understand from these points? That there was a call for Renu from Ruhan. The call was about book reading session. The topic of the book reading session is also given here. This children asked Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And of course, the session is described here. It is the session on the compilation of letters received by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam from children and his answers. The time and venue is given. It is Oxford bookstore and the time is 8 p.m. And also there is one more information that Ruhan is going to pick her up at 6:30 p.m. since he wants to attend the session together. So in this way, this information you can add in your answer, children. And there is one more question given in your textbook. It is about a template of a message. So you may also get such type of template and you are asked to complete this template with the details as the answer of the virtual message. So here you can fill the details and you can write the answer in this way. Students, in this way we learned drafting a virtual message today. I hope you have understood the guidelines for drafting the virtual message. Now go back to your textbook. There are many questions given in the brainstorming activity. Write down the answers of all those questions in your notebook so that you can have a good practice of drafting a virtual message. Thank you so much.